what's happening? So today I want to kind of take a detour, and you know that Gary and I push hustle in everything we do, and hence the name of our company, Hustle Branding, right? But I actually want to talk about something that, to me, a book that changed my life, and has allowed me to kind of reestablish myself as an entrepreneur that has some staying power. What I mean by that is that I burn the candle on just one end, work. That's it. And about a year and a half ago, I mean, my body was breaking down. Everything was just breaking down because all I do is work. And there's zero balance. And, you know, and I've always had pride in that. But, you know, I mean, it's great to have pride and ride your pride all the way to the grave, right? What changed my whole perspective is this book called "And I Breathed" by Jason Garner. It changed my life. About a year and a half ago, my father got sick. He had a stroke, then he had another stroke, and then another stroke. He had 6 strokes. He got hammered. I was in the middle of a new business venture. It seemed like the whole world was crashing down, and I saw my father disappearing in front of me, and it was just, I was an absolute mess. And I came across this article in Forbes magazine written by David Williams and Mary Michelle Scott, who are 2 people that I do this column with in Forbes, and are just precious, precious individuals. And I came across this article called, I think it's called What Do Monks, Warriors, and Entrepreneurs Have in Common? Something to that effect. And I read an article on this guy, Jason Garner, and he was the he's a former Fortune 500 CEO, CEO of Global Music for Live Nation. And it was this story of just an insane story of his rise to the top, and then realizing that once he was on top, and all the externals was there, and he realized that his life was empty. He just was completely not happy with his life. Now, how could you go from living in a trailer to being a Fortune 500 CEO and be miserable? And that's what this book is about. This book is, let me kind of break it into 3 sections. The first section is his journey from trailer to Fortune 500 CEO. And it's one of the most insane entrepreneurial stories I've ever heard in my life. The second part, the middle part, had to do with when his mother became ill with cancer, and he had to reevaluate and contemplate his life. And I'm not going to give up the details of the book, but he realized that his life was empty, and he left Live Nation. He was one of the top paid 40 under 40 out there, and he went to the Shaolin Temple in search of himself. He studied with the masters of meditation and yoga and nutrition and herbalism, and really found that the biggest message is that he didn't love himself. And at first I didn't get what he meant by that. You know, because I talked to Jason. He's become a good friend, and I've talked to Jason about, you know, how important it is for me. The only time that I feel good is when I do service, when I am of service to others. And he says, you know, to me, well, you need to be of service to yourself first in order to be of service to others. You need to love yourself in order to love others. And it took me a while to kind of grasp that concept. So the middle part of the book is about that contemplation, and then the last part of the book is about that transformation into the realization that life is about self-love. Life is about not the externals, but the internals, and loving yourself and taking care of yourself and having that balance. And, 99.9% of the time, that I pound in the concept of hustle in everything that I do. But this book shows that, and is so important for entrepreneurs or executives or anybody working themselves, into a state of burnout, that you can actually have balance by simple, techniques of meditation, different breathing, yoga, all these gazillion bits of wisdom that he puts in this book. And I breathed. I think that every person on this planet that's working themselves to death needs to pick this up, because life is not about money. Life is about being able to be of service to yourself and others. So I need to mention the reason how I met Jason was, when that article in Forbes was published, I reached out to him. I didn't know him from Adam, and I told him about my father and what I was going through, and he overnighted not one but two books, one for my father and one for me, which was like one of the biggest acts of kindness that I've received in a very long time, especially from a person that I didn't know. So if you're feeling burnt out, right? If you're feeling that it's all about just pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding until you succeed, understand that if you don't treat your body well, if you don't treat your health well, if you don't have balance in your life, what's the point of accumulating all of these externals if you're not happy from the inside out? So I would recommend that you read And I Breathed by Jason Garner. It's an insane book. He also has an unbelievable website, jasongarner.com, where he really kind of talks about a lot of the principles in his book. So get the book, have a great day, and we'll talk later.